Okay, good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, October 13th. So we just had our midterm exams and you guys did really well. So I'm just going to go through the solution of the question 14. It's about the activity-based costing system. Okay, so for this exam, I have created 20 versions of the exam. Okay, so from version 1 and till version 20. Okay, so I'm just going, all the questions are very similar. Okay, the different versions, the narratives are identical, it's just the numbers are different. Okay, so I am going to use version, let's see, maybe version, I'm going to use version 9. Okay, I'm going to use version 9 as an example. Okay. Okay, so in this question, version 9, Clear Window Company designs and builds custom windows for luxury homes. Most of the windows are customized made, but occasionally the company does mass production on order. The budgeted overhead, this is the budgeted manufacturing overhead for 2022 as follows. Okay, there are the overhead cost pools, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 activity cost pools, and the total number is 1,224,000. Okay, so total estimated overhead cost. So that will be 1,224,000, right? Okay. So for the past 3 years, the company has been charging overhead to product on basis of machine hour. Okay, so they're saying that in the previous 3 years, they're using only one cost driver, right? That is the machine hours. Okay, so then for the year 2022, the machine hour budgeted, right? So that's 116,000. Okay, so here the estimated machine hours. Okay, this is also the cost driver, right? The cost driver. So this number is 116,000. Okay, so I am using this number. Okay, and I'm using this number. Okay, so these two numbers, okay, will give me the predetermined overhead rate. Okay, so I use the total, okay, total expected, this one, divided by the cost driver level. Okay, so basically I am using this two. So this number divided by this number, so that's going to be equals, okay, so I'm going to use this equals this divided by this. Okay, and I can keep probably just maybe 2 decimals. Okay, so that's my first question. The first question was asking, calculate the predetermined overhead rate using traditional costing. Okay, with the machine hour as the basis. So we are done with the first question, right? This is the traditional costing, and there's only one predetermined overhead rate. In this question, they are using machine hours as the basis, or we call it cost driver. Okay. So for every machine hour, the allocated overhead cost is $10.55. Okay. And the B is asking calculate the manufacturing cost per window set under traditional costing. Under traditional costing. Okay, so the question here, they're asking, so I will continue with this question. So Autumn Friesen, so this is the person, the owner manager of the company, recently directed her accountant to implement the ABC cost system. She has repeatedly proposed at her request, the accountant and the production foreman identify the following cost driver and their usage for the previously budgeted overhead cost pool. So remember, there are 5 cost pools, and now they told us the level of the activity, right? So for example, the budgeted purchasing cost is 189,000, and the number of orders is considered as the cost driver for this cost pool, and that is estimated to be 510, okay? And so on. You can see that they provided with all the level of the cost drivers for each cost pools. During the month, the company received an order for 50 window sets from a housing development contractor. The accountant prepared a cost estimate for producing components for window set. So the company can submit a contract price per window set to the contractor. Here are the following data: direct materials, direct labor, machine hours, direct labor hours, and a bunch of other informations. So the B is asking calculate manufacturing cost per window set under traditional costing. Okay, so manufacturing cost has 3 components: direct materials. So this number is given 29,000, and direct labor, right? And this information is given 136,000. Okay, and then overhead cost. Overhead cost applied, right? You need to apply some overhead cost. For how much? Well, we know the machine hour. So the machine hour here is 12,900. Oops. So make sure you are not using this direct labor hour, right? Direct labor hour is 1020. Some students made a mistake. They use the 1020. But this allocation of the overhead rate is based on machine hours, right? So here we are going to have 900 multiplied by 1050, right? 5. So we use the level of the cost driver multiplied by the this predetermined overhead rate. Okay, so what is this? This is going to be 12,900 times this number. Okay, again, I'm going to keep 2 decimal here. Okay. And I really don't like these numbers without that comma, so I need to make sure they have counting numbers. Counting numbers, okay. So that looks better, okay. So now what's the total manufacturing cost? Total manufacturing cost. That will be the sum of the 3 numbers. And there are 50 window sets, right? So for each window, this total divided by 50. So that's gonna be $6,022.34. Yeah, that's our solution here. It's this number, okay? Okay, so that's the question B, and question C, calculate the manufacturing cost per window set under ABC costing. Right? This is the traditional costing. And now for C, we want to do ABC costing. Okay. And remember, there are 3 steps, right? There are 4 steps. Step 1, you want to know what are the cost pools and what are the amount of the overhead cost. Okay. And then step 2, you want to know what is the activity cost drivers and what's the budgeted level for that cost driver. Right. So step 1 here, step 2 here. So now we have information for step 1, step 2. So for step 3, and we are using a division, right? We try to figure it out for each activity, what's the predetermined overhead rate, okay? So I have purchasing, production, setting up machines, inspecting, utility. So that's my 5 pools. This is my cost pools, right? Okay, and then the cost we know. What's the overhead cost for each pool? We know this number here, 189,000. For 200,000 and 145,000, 116,000, 310,000. Okay, so that's this information, right? This information is translated here, and then the activity level. Level of cost driver. So that's 510. So that information is here. That information is here. And 83,000, 1,000, 52,000, 5,200, 77,000. And then the predetermined, the overhead rate is gonna be, you're gonna use the cost divided by the cost driver. Right? Okay. So I get all this number, okay? And then what's the step 4? Step 4 is multiplication. It's multiplication. So what's the actual use for this 50 sets? What's the actual use of the cost driver for the 50 sets, right? And that information is also given, right? So the number of purchase orders, that's 51. And the number of machine hours set up, this is 80. Number of inspection, 392. And number of square occupied, 79,000. And here is the production. Production, what is the production about? Production is about, here, the production is about direct labor hours. See? Production, it's about direct labor hours. So what's the direct labor hours we have? Direct labor hours is 10,200. Some students did this wrong as well, okay? Okay, so now my allocated cost, overhead. Use multiplication, right? Use this times this. And then what's the total? Just need to sum up these numbers. This is the total applied overhead cost, okay? So now let's do it again. Direct materials, direct So direct materials is still the same, direct labor is the same. Overhead cost applied, we figure this out, is this number. So what's the total manufacturing cost? Here. Okay. And then again, it's the 50 window sets, right? Windows. So the average for each window. So that's gonna be 5819.62. Let's take a look at the answer. I have yeah, that's our main answer. $58.19.62. Okay, so that's my answer to this question. Like you can see, this is something very similar to you have practiced. So nothing really difficult or challenging. Okay. Okay, so you know, this is just for version 9. Okay, I'm just using this as this is version 9. So for the other versions, you probably just have similar, you're gonna get similar results, right? So for version 10, that's my solution for version 10 solution. This is $9.21. 6898 points. So this, anyways, these three numbers may be different across different numbers. Okay, so that's it. All the best.